Right. Good afternoon, everybody. Arun Mehra here, and it's 12:30 on Thursday, just before Good Friday. It's a sunny afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to get some sunshine this weekend as well to enjoy, even though we're in self-isolation. That's my daughter in the background there, hopefully going to do some hoovering. So that sounds like positive news, getting the kids involved to help with cleaning and everything else that's needed in the house. So now today, I'm going to keep it relatively short and swift. Going to give a brief update on some of the things that's happened in the last week. I've had the luxury of kind of turning off my computer for a few days whilst it's Easter time, spending time with my children and just trying to reflect and relax as much as you can in this troubled environment. So, and this is a picture I've just downloaded earlier, but it's a nice picture, I thought, and it's just kind of a little bit of calmness that's hopefully come about since the panic of a few weeks ago. There's a little bit of the dust has settled. I know there's a lot of unanswered questions. I know there's a lot of concern and worry out there, but hopefully, things will come clearer. This panic or pandemic will end, and we can all move positively forward in all of our respective lives. So, as I mentioned, sunny weather this weekend, so try and enjoy it. If you've got a little balcony or garden or something, you can get some walk in the park while social distancing, make the most of it. In addition, I was reading earlier online, there's a pub called the Red Lion, which now it's called the Red Online, and it's an online pub that was launched by Camera, which is a campaign for Real A, I believe it's called. And whilst all pubs are closed, it gives you an opportunity to connect via a video link. So we have to be innovative in these times. We have to do things differently. And yet we still want to be social. We still want to interact with people. That's such an important aspect of us being human beings. So in my time, what I've had, and earlier in the week, well, there's loads of emails and calls I've had to deal with. But as I said, I managed to have a bit of downtime. Some of the real positives for me, obviously hang out with my children and my wife and my dad who lives with me. He's late, he's almost 90. So trying to deal with him in this situation is not that easy, but he's okay, thankfully. So fingers crossed. But hanging out with my kids, one's a teenager and one's almost a teenager. So late rises, but watching lots of Netflix, hanging out in the garden, going for cycle rides, that type of thing, which I'm sure some of you may be doing with your children as well. I've started on the DIY, painting windows, growing new vegetables, reconnecting with family across the globe as well. Some cousins and other family members who I haven't seen in a long time. It was actually nice to arrange a weekly call with them on Zoom. And really just summarizing what actually matters in life, okay? We have all this stuff. We all have businesses or money or whatever, but perhaps what's happened is as a result of us actually realizing what actually matters in life. And quite often or not, it's quite simple what actually matters in life. Your relationships with your loved ones. That's it really, okay? In my opinion, that's all that matters. Your relationships with the people who you care about and your loved ones, okay? So that's given us an opportunity to reconnect as a family, certainly on my side. So let's move on. I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna keep this relatively swift today because I'm planning a massive kind of big webinar launch next week, which is all about how to reinvent your business, how to build your business, how to start from zero, okay? So, and I'll briefly touch on that later today, but a lot more will be coming out to that. So watch out for the webinar link for that next week, which I'm preparing for and organizing a lot of content for. So latest update and next steps. So as hopefully most of you know, I'm the owner and CEO of the Samera Business Advisors, a co-owner of the Neutral Dental Group, which I own with my wife Smita, who's a dentist. Been working with dentists for 17 years, I think maybe even 18 years now. A trained chartered accountant, lots of grey hair, lots of experience, and ex-banker as well, with as vice president of Bank of America. So I've got a breadth of financial experience in a whole realms of different financial areas. Finance is what finance and business strategy and business turnaround and business re-energizing. That's my bag. That's what I know well. And that's what I can, in these times, is what you need to really change things and transform things in your business, in your marketplace, in your sector. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be dedicating a lot of time to providing full-on advice and help to help people transform their existing situation, which may be a closed practice, and worry to actually, when they do open, it's going to be a thriving business. So who are Samera? As I mentioned, chartered accountants, finance brokers, practice brokers, and we deal with hundreds of dentists all across the UK and increasingly beyond in New Zealand, Australia, Far East, India, you name it. So we've got clients everywhere. Now, you may have I was thinking about this webinar earlier, and I thought, well, I've spoken to lots of clients, and including talking to my wife, who's a dentist, and many of them feel like they've had several rounds with Mike Tyson. They've been punched in so many ways and pummeled in so many ways, whether it's financially, whether it's clinically, whether it's stuff from the CDO, whether it's just emotionally, whether it's from the team, whatever it might be. It's been a tough few weeks for everybody, really. Okay, so not just for people in the dental sector, but virtually all sectors, all industries. Okay, including my industry, professional services industry. It's a tough time out there. But you know what? It's all relative, and it's not as tough as for some people who've been sick, had problems. That's really tough, and family members being lost. So whilst you may be feeling down, you may be feeling upset, you may be feeling you're not getting what you need financially, you may be feeling all these things. You know what? In the scheme of things, so what? Okay, you got to stand up, get back up off the ground, and keep fighting. Okay, that's the nature of the game. You cannot now kind of shrink and what's the word? Either freeze or flounder. You need to be formidable. You need to be strong. So hopefully you've managed to kind of let the emotion sink in. You've got to that point of where you know what the problems are, and now you're building a plan to help you get through this whole situation. So let's crack on. So I'm just going to go through some of the key points that keep arising, and I'm just going to go through these over the next few slides. So for employers, so anyone who owns a business who employs people. Now, one of the most popular questions we keep getting is about the coronavirus job retention scheme. Now, as the Chancellor said, this would be launched in April. Now, we have a date from HMRC saying the portal will be ready by the 20th of April. Now, what that means is that you will have to still pay your staff based on what you've discussed with them, and submit do your normal payroll. Okay, but at that time afterwards, or during that time, you then need to gather a whole bunch of information or on pay, people, team, NI, you name it, all those necessary figures and data. Then you have to apply to the portal to get that information in. Now, to do that, first you need to make sure you're doing the 80% calculation, the national insurance calculations done correctly, the auto enrollment or pension calculations done correctly. So there's lots of things that can go wrong here. So we know that because we've done quite a lot of research into this and looked at what the problems can be. So it's not a matter of just getting a figure and plugging it into a portal. In an ideal it would be, but I know it won't be. Okay, and having dealt with HMRC for the last almost 20 years, things never go as smoothly as one hopes. So now HMRC are advising that I think over 9 million people have been furloughed. And so they're asking accountants like ourselves, our firms, to take some of the pressure off the phone lines. So where we can then manage and we have a direct line to HMRC, we can kind of hopefully manage that process for you. Okay, so it's a moving beast, but if you need help with calculations, reclaiming the funds, get in touch. We have a service, a particular service around furloughing assistance service that we're providing to our clients, where you can get the money back from HMRC. I think this will gather momentum over the next week as people realize that they need to get their money back from the relevant people. Okay, in that respect. Let me move on to the next slide. The next thing is around furloughing. It's one of the questions I keep getting from clients of mine and others is you might have a director-only company and you're trading as a dental practice. So you may have had a low salary, but on PAYE, and the remainder was taken as dividends. You can be furloughed. Technically, you can. However, the director must stop working in the business to be eligible for the scheme. So this is where the area of greyness is at the moment, and we're all waiting further guidance, but statutory duties that the director can carry out whilst being furloughed can be done, but no service or any revenue generating work can be done. So if you're doing any consults online with patients, or you're doing any virtual consults or anything like that, that would be deemed to be providing a service and is revenue generating work, which then would fall foul of the furloughing rules. And I'm pretty sure HMRC will be pretty damning and pursuant of anyone who flouts these laws. So I'm advising clients to be very careful here. You don't want to furlough yourself and then claim you're not doing any work when you are. And even if picking up an emergency phone, helping patients in that, whilst it's not generating much revenue or virtually zero, you're providing a service to people, which is deemed then to be flouting furloughing. So further guidance will emerge, hopefully, on this subject soon. For the self-employed, now this is I think we've just got a question on that as well. There's basically there's a £50,000 is the limit. If you're only above £50,000 currently, and I know there's been lots of objections and lots of requests for people to provide further funds for people who are generating over £50,000. At the moment, the Chancellor hasn't come back and offered that. Now, the issue here is that the basis of the calculation is when I read the HMRC document previously, it said trading profits. Okay, and that's the wording, trading profits. So that's what they'll base their £50,000 calculation on. So that will have to be, and that's based on what's submitted into previous tax returns. Now, HMRC, there's no application to do this. HMRC will actually contact you based on historic tax returns that you submitted, and if they think you qualify, they will qualify. Excuse me. Now, and if you qualify, you can get up to 80% of your profits, or a cap of £2,500 per month. And these are grants. These aren't loans. These are grants. So you'll get physical cash coming to you. Now, whether this is a timeline for this, there hasn't been actually an indicated timeline of when this will happen and when will people start getting money. And I'm sure it'll be hopefully by the end of April, but because they've got a lot of the data, but we will have to see, okay, in that respect. So that's kind of that. So in summary, self-employed up to £50,000 is the trading profits, is the question that is the key number here. And so you should look at your personal tax returns previously to see what your trading profits were. And if you fall below that, then maybe you'll get some type of grant available. In terms of going back to companies, in terms of the companies, if you're a company, the director of a company, and but you're still getting a low salary, you can be furloughed, and you can get some fund or 80% of the salary you're getting already, even though it might have been a low salary on PAY, you can still get something. However, you've got to be very careful you don't flout the rules of furloughing. So no services which are providing revenue generating work, even an emergency call could be deemed to be a revenue generating work. So I'd be very careful here. So next up, and this is an area, again, I've had calls on quite a lot this week because I think local authorities are now starting to get their act together, is the small business grant funding available for businesses who receive the small business rate relief. Now that's a cash grant of 10K. And in order to get that, businesses must occupy a property to qualify. Now every local authority has a different approach to doing this, how to apply for it. I know on local authorities I've seen is they have forms on their website, you submit it, but sometimes they never come back to you. So you need to call them and hassle them. So my view is go to your local authority and chase them up, call them up, hassle them, okay? Because technically I think this 10K is available, and I know no clients who have received this already. To qualify, the rateable value of the premises, if it's in England, this is specifically for England, must be below £15,000 to qualify. So if it's £16,000, for argument's sake, you won't get anything. Okay, so the rateable value of the premises in England must be below £15,000, and this is based on valuation office data that's always on your sheet, the statement that you get from the valuation office, okay, and the bill that you get from your local authority. So if you dig out your bill from your local authority and have a look, and hopefully it's under £15,000, then make a claim and hassle them until you get it. Excuse me. And then finally, the other thing to touch on is HMRC Time to Pay. You need to contact HMRC if you're having problems paying any of your bills, whether it's PAYE, whether it's income tax, whether it's corporation tax, but CGT, any of those taxes, call them up and arrange a time to pay facility if you're having difficulties paying any taxes. It's important you engage with them earlier rather than later. And then if you set a plan up, you then work out a plan that they can pay you over a period of time. Okay, so again, don't let this fester, don't let this linger. Contact them and arrange a payment facility with them. If they're not forthcoming, then get in touch with us. We have alternative lenders who may be able to help on HMRC bills as well. Okay, so things, you've probably seen it go quiet on our website in the last week, mainly because I've been off and the news flow has been certainly less. Over the next few weeks, we'll be kind of talking about how you rebound back from your business, rebound your business, grow your business, develop your business over the next few weeks. So watch out on our website how we're going to be helping you transform your clinic, transform your business to a successful, thriving business from day one once you get back open. Okay, so watch our webinars, watch our news flow, watch our tips and advice. So it's all going to be on our website. Other services that we're providing, we do a whole load of pro bono services and the tools and stuff you can download. Two other services that we've kind of kicked off and are doing pretty actively. Short-term financing. I know people have been calling Nigel wanting some help with short-term financing, so definitely been a real need there, okay, for people to raise finance because the coronavirus business interruption loan hasn't been so forthcoming. So if anyone needs short-term finance, get in touch with us. And then the other thing, the pivot, and that kind of relates to some of the stuff I'm going to be talking to next week, is how to protect your goodwill whilst you're closed, but then also how to turn and transform your business radically and fundamentally. So when you do hit the road running, when you do open, it'll be thriving and strong. And then another service that we're providing is the coronavirus job retention scheme is, as I mentioned earlier, how to get your money back from furloughing from HMRC. It's all on our website. All of these details are, you can sign up for the short-term financing, the pivot online, and for the other service for the furloughing coronavirus job retention scheme, just drop us a mail or give us a call and we'd be delighted to see how we can help. So I'm going to leave you today as we enter the Easter weekend with a blank sheet of paper. All right. Now, why have I got this image up here? I just thought it's so important. We're all hit with so much information. We're all hit with so much positive news, negative news, misconstrued news, fake news. Okay. And what we sometimes need to do is just sometimes, you know what? Screw it, sod it. I don't need any of this. Turn your computer up. I'm going to start with a blank sheet of paper. Okay. For myself, for my life. And that, I think, is something that I'd really encourage you to do over the next 3 or 4 days, over this Easter weekend. I'm sure you have the time just to spend half an hour on your own kind of plan, your own personal plan, your own business plan, your own future for you, your family, and everything out there. And the best way to do that in my book is not on some fancy tool, some fancy website or anything. Sheet of paper, blank sheet of paper, piece of pencil, cup of coffee, and a rubber, and maybe some lovely flowers by it. Okay, and start writing some thoughts, some plans, some actions. And you have to be strong and definitive about it. So now is a perfect time to reinvent yourself. The dust is settling. Yes, we've heard all the shit, we've heard all the news, we've heard all the negativity, we've heard all the problems, and yes, there is, and it's still going on. I'm not disputing that, but we have to be strong during this time. So you need to feed your mind with positive messages. So read interesting articles, read reinforced strong books. So great authors to follow, as I mentioned previously, Simon Sinek, great writer, great stuff around leadership. You've probably heard of Tony Robbins. He has a whole load of stuff on that type of thing. Loads of stuff out there. Number 2, strengthen your body, keep fit, get strong, get some fresh air, go get some, do some weights, or go for a walk or a cycle ride, whatever. But definitely do that. Okay. Find a role model. That's another thing. So you need to think, okay, who am I? Who's going to help me through this? Who can I follow? Who can I potentially, after this crisis, who's going to be there to support me through this process? It could be someone like myself. It could be someone else. Okay. But find a role model that's going to help you get you to where you want to be post COVID-19. Number 4, so important, take action. You can dither, you can panic, you can worry, you can kind of be frustrated, and that ain't going to get you anywhere. You have to take some action. Okay. So therefore, with a white sheet of paper, what are the actions you can write on there that you're going to do post-COVID, pre-COVID, pre this ending over? What are you going to do? Okay. What are those things, and who do you need to contact? Lots of businesses are still active. Do you need a new website? Do you need to put new marketing out there? Do you need to contact your patients? Whatever it might be, but take positive, affirmative action. Don't dither. And lastly, really probably most importantly, how are you going to be adding value to others in your life? Okay. So with your plan, with your sheet of paper, what are you going to be doing to add value to? If you can add value to other people's lives, that's going to have a huge impact on yourself, on your business, on everything you're going to be doing in the future. So that's a really poignant and important point to factor into your thinking. Okay. So 5 key questions I'm going to leave you here with to think about over the course of this weekend. And I want you to just grab these, or I'll send these slides out afterwards anyway, but think about, what am I here to serve? What am I here to serve? Those are the first, and who am I here to serve, I guess. What is my core passion? What resources are available to me? What do I need to change in myself? And what is my why, and how am I going to implement this? Now, all of these are 5 questions I want you to just get that sheet of paper and answer for yourself over the next few days. What am I here to serve? What is my passion? What is my core passion? What resources do I have available to me? Like how much money, or how many people, and who do I know who can help me? What do I need to change in myself? What do I need to change? Do I need to get rid of in my life potentially? Or what do I need to enhance in myself? And then finally, what is my why, and how am I going to implement this? Okay, what is my why? Why am I actually doing this? 5 key questions. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today, to think, how can I make these changes, and what are those 5 things I'm going to do? Excuse me. My next webinar will be starting from zero to hero, and that will be next Wednesday on the 15th of April. Before then, I really want you to have thought through these 5 questions and have some answers for yourself. This is all for you, not for me. This is for you to try and improve yourself, to try and get out of this rut, to try and get you out of this situation. Okay. And so from next week, I'm going to start on this first webinar will be from zero to hero. And that'll be talking about, starting from this blank sheet of paper, how you're going to transform yourself, your business, into something which is powerful, strong, resilient, when we come out of this current situation. Further help, you know where we are. That's Nigel's direct number if you need any short-term finance. Otherwise, you can contact us on this number, and the team will pick up. And obviously, we're all scattered all over the place, working remotely. Easter weekend is coming, so make sure you have a happy Easter. Eat chocolate, do Easter egg hunt. I've done about 3 already with my children, and they're almost teenagers and they still like it, so they love it, and so they've even dragged me into it. So enjoy doing that. And finally, I'd just like to say happy Easter, and we're here to help if you need any help. We will be updating it on our blog shortly later today, a copy of this webinar, a copy of the slides, and if you need any help, we're here to help. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, look after yourself and keep strong, keep healthy, and enjoy. Okay, thank you.